Okay, Chris, I think we're ready whenever you are. Emily, are you there?
I am.
Okay,
Sorry, it's loud,
awesome.
so I'm going to keep muted.
That's fine. I just wanted to make sure we were connected. So.
All right,
I'm
we'll start
here.
off with a roll call then.
All right, Emily Cahill.
Here.
Robert Johnson. Kevin Yates.
Here.
Shane Plaker. Brian Tibbs.
Here.
Lorelei Cox.
Here.
Joel Dickerson.
Here.
Chris Gergen.
Here. Moving on, we'll go to the approval of the minutes for May 2022. Any additions, subtractions, or corrections?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Emily Cahill.
Yes.
Kevin Yates.
Yes.
Brian Tibbs.
Yes.
Lorelei Cox.
Yes.
Joel Dickerson.
Yes.
Chris Gergen.
Yes. We'll move to the review of the bills for May and June 2022.
Sorry, when I take minutes, I got to shuffle quite a bit of paper, so I apologize. So you have, and I apologize, I put them in the wrong order. I put the financial reports first, so you'll need to switch back to the bills. You've got the bills for both April and May in your packets because we skipped last month's meeting. So I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
If there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the bills.
So move. Second.
Roll call.
Emily Cahill.
Yes.
Kevin Yates.
Yes.
Brian Tibbs.
Yes.
Lorelei Cox.
Yes.
Joel Dickerson.
Yes.
Chris Gergen.
Yes. And the financial report for May and June 2022.
And again, same thing, the financial report for May and June, because we did not have a meeting last month, is in your packet. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. For just like a matter of understanding, we don't bill, we have quite a few school district bills for camp this summer, and we don't bill them until June. So that school districts can kind of decide whether they pay that in one fiscal year or the other. Some of them like to pay it in June, some of them like to pay it, wait until July. So those payments are all kind of rolling in now.
Is there anything on the income statement that you'd like to draw our attention to, or is everything looking pretty good for you?
I mean, everything's looking pretty good based on kind of where we are as of, you know, post-COVID, trying to get ourselves back to where we should be.
When do you usually get the 21 tax money from the other entities?
We should be getting money in, let's see, we see it in, Emily, when do you guys get your first payment?
We've all received our first
Why am
payment.
I blanking? You received your first payment. Your second payment is in September. So typically we see a first payment from the member districts show up in like August.
Okay.
And I think some of you guys send it in one lump sum. Some of you send it in two.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the May, what would it be? April and May income statements.
I'll second.
Emily Cahill,
Yes.
Kevin Yates,
Yes.
Brian Tibbs,
Yes.
Lorelei Cox,
Yes.
Joel Dickerson,
Yes.
Chris Gergen,
Yes. Director's report.
I'll shift my stuff again. All right. Summer is in full swing. I said somebody was thinking today when you all decided to go virtual because I spent the day at our summer camp field day. So I probably smell really good right now. So you guys were smart. We were hosted by Dunlap High School and their student council put on a bunch of activities for us with special guests from East Peoria football. So our camp participants this summer all participated or competed in track and lacrosse and football and soccer and disc golf today at Dunlap High School. So it was a great day. And depending upon what the sport needs were for the participant, they spent either half or the full day there, which was super fun. We had a great time and it was the perfect day for us to be out there. The student council even hosted all of our participants for lunch. They grilled hot dogs and we had a great time. So that was super fun. We have officially hired a program coordinator position. Shelby Martin joined us full time in June. Shelby, some of you may have met her before. She's been our camp specialist for Camp Free to Be for the past about 5 years. Has been a special education teacher, a general education teacher for some time, has just finished her master's in special education and has decided to join us full time, which is super exciting. She's done a great job for us. So we're thrilled to have her working on camp and other things, youth programs year round. So that's super fun. We are also partnering. We talked about in the past how we were looking for a new home or location for our parent resource fair, and we believe we've found one. We are partnering with Ignite Peoria to help with Sensory Ignite and combining our parent resource fair with that. It's building slowly, as you know, organizations much like us are also short-staffed. So I don't know that we'll have as many organizations as we have in the past, but we're excited to be part. I don't know if you're familiar with Ignite Peoria, but it's a STEM and maker event down at the Civic Center on August 13th. And in 2019, they started an event called Sensory Ignite, which works hand in hand with that program for people who need kind of a quieter opportunity to do some of that STEM or maker opportunities. So we're working with that to provide some activities as well as work with the organizations to bring parent information for parents and families to support people with disabilities. So we're hoping to build on that in the years to come and get it back to where it was. And we're excited to have a location for that. So August 13th down at the Civic Center. And then I have been invited to take part in a committee with Bradley University. And Bradley is working to create a barrier-free campus for people with disabilities. And they're working toward a National Science Foundation grant, which will hopefully cast a wider net over the surrounding community and potentially more of the city of Peoria and the surrounding area to find ways to include people with disabilities, not just in their campus, but their educational opportunities and everything that they do. So I've just started working with that committee, and it's an exciting endeavor, I think, for us to see kind of where that might go from here. That, and then we're working on fall programming and of course, looking ahead to 2023, trying to start to put together some budget projections, things of that nature. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Katie, with the increase of wages, have you have you kind of factored that increase in next year's budget?
We're currently working on that. You know, it seems to be an ever moving target, Chris, to be quite honest with you. I think I shared with you before we started the meeting that, you know, we've had a couple of people leave us this summer for better gigs, or what feels like a better gig, right? You know, we have somebody who just, you know, told me the other day that they're going to get paid $17 an hour to scoop ice cream. And so it's difficult to compete with that. Historically, you know, we have always paid our camp counselors, you know, a little bit more than you all pay your camp counselors because of the additional responsibilities and challenges that they encounter. It's impossible for us to do that now, number one, but it's getting harder and harder to just compete with what other people are paying out there. So we're trying to look at all aspects of that. You know, what can we do? I don't know that we have all the answers yet. But we are looking at that. Yes.
Okay.
In order for us to be competitive, we're going to have to figure out how to pay people more.
We had a previous conversation about how that was going to affect the future budgets, future years, and, you know, whether there are increased fees or increased member district contributions or decreased services. I mean, between those three things are probably some kind of a combination of those three items is what we had discussed. Is there do you have a specific target meeting where you would like us to, or where you would like to come and kind of present some ideas to us about what that might look like?
I think my hope is in September, we'll at least have some discussion surrounding that, so that we can look at for 2023, what will that budget look like in October?
That's
I
October
think
meetings when we approve budget. Is that right?
Typically, yes. So the hope is September. You know, some of that is still kind of playing out, right? I mean, I just had somebody walk in my office on Friday and say, I'm leaving to scoop ice cream for $17 an hour. So that is going to be increasingly difficult. And you're right, it's going to have to be more than just one thing. We'll need additional revenue, but also we'll have to look at, you know, how many people can we serve really, and how can we do that, and what can that look like, and how could we potentially partner or collaborate with other organizations to be able to do that. Now, some of that will take longer than between now and September, so we're trying to look at potentially all angles.
I would ask that when you bring that to us, if you could definitely bring something that would be continuing same level of services, same staffing levels with increased salaries, what would that expense difference look like 2 years from now, 3 years from now, so that we can have a real good idea of what that number would be. I think having a good solid number for us to be able to kind of think around would be a good idea.
Sure, absolutely. Any other questions?
If there are none, we'll move on. No new business, no pending, no citizen request or correspondence, or other business. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Also move.
I'll second. Brian.
Emily Cahill.
Yeah, sorry. Bye, guys.
Kevin Yates.
Yes.
Brian Tibbs.
Yes.
Lorelei Cox.
Yes.
Joel Dickerson.
Yes.
Chris Gergen.
Yes. All right. You guys have a good one.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.